What's going on, guys? I'm Dawson from the Fallthrough here with Brad McBride from the Fallthrough.
Am I supposed to
reintroduce
myself after you've already told them my name?
Yeah, you are.
I'll repeat what Dawson's already said. My name's Brad McBride. I'm a guitar player and songwriter for the Fallthrough.
And we're also joined with Mr. Ricky over here.
Whoop, whoop. I'm Ricky Collins. I sing sometimes.
He does sing.
Hi, I'm Stephen Haynes with the band The Fallthrough. I'm a songwriter-producer here out of Hollister, California. In the band, you'll hear me do some singing, some screaming. I play guitar alongside Brad, do some programming. I also do the producing, mixing, and mastering to make the finished product. Welcome to my $1 million California home recording studio. As you can tell from this really expensive cell phone camera I'm using to record this bit. Hey, there's my guitar. A Halo guitar. Got my broken string playing Welcome to It because I was playing too hard. But yeah, there it is. That's where all the magic happens.
So we thought it'd be a fun idea to get together because we used to all three be in a band called Strangers to September. And we wrote a song called Welcome to It 10 years ago. And we have, what do you say, revamped it, revitalized it for the, third time now?
Yeah.
V3, baby.
V3. And so that song's getting ready to come out pretty soon. So we wanted to get together and kind of talk about the old times and kind of what led to the Fallthrough and things like that. So I want to start off by saying that, boys, we're getting fucking old.
We've been old.
Like once
we got past 27, it was over.
It was over then.
Yeah, we're getting old.
I felt good until 27, and then my body started failing me in every way possible. Had to get glasses, had to have a colonoscopy,
Hey,
had
my
to have
eyes
a
were
knee
gone.
surgery, had to have a shoulder surgery. Freaking had to have my tonsils removed. Why is this insanely loud now?
I turned you up a little bit. You want to go down?
Well, I don't think it's just me. I think it's everything coming through my headset is loud.
Cool. How about now?
Now I can't hear anything.
Turn it down too low. Okay. So we've got a...
All right, that's good.
Yeah, so I got this new Rode, podcast thing. It's pretty new. It's the first time using it, so we're gonna see how it goes. Hopefully, it turns out.
Pretty bitchin' looking though.
It is pretty cool.
It's pretty sexy.
It is.
That definitely will give everybody the appearance that you know what you're doing.
Like, look at me, I'm professional.
Yeah,
even
exactly.
though I'm probably not.
In order to achieve success, you must maintain the image of success.
I mean, you're not wrong. But yeah, so we've got V3 coming out pretty soon. So it was the first song that we had written as a band, Strangers to September, when we were all in it together. Once again, 10 years later, we touched on this a little bit in some videos that we did that we posted over on YouTube and Instagram. But I want to kind of retouch on that, dive into it a little bit deeper. So it don't matter who starts, but what's it like to y'all coming back to this song 10 years later? We just got the final mix today. We all heard it.
Yeah.
How is it for y'all
Sick.
coming back 10 years later?
Man, I really think it's crazy just because it kind of shows how far we've come from when we were younger, 10 years ago, to now. It's you can see the growth in each version of the song. And I just think that this one kind of is like the climax of all three, if y'all know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. That's what it feels like to me. And it's very nostalgic, brings back a lot of the old memories and stuff that we had together.
For sure. Which we'll get into. Brad, what about you, man?
The whole situation's pretty much kind of funny to me because it will be more funny to you, Ricky, because Dawson doesn't really care about the technicalities of recording or anything, but how we did it originally musicianship wise.
It's absolutely crazy.
It's crazy that we made it sound as good as we did when we didn't even record with a click track.
Yeah.
We had no metronome, nothing. We just recorded to a drummer and used the fucking Pod Farm Line 6 for our guitars.
Some kids
and it turned out pretty decent. I mean, it wasn't the best mix in the world, and that's by no fault. What was Lucas?
Lucas.
Yeah, it wasn't Lucas's fault. It was completely ours for being unprofessional and dog shit freaking recording artists. But I mean, it was only the second song I had ever wrote. I mean, the only song I ever wrote before that was The Safe Haven, and then that was the only song we had until Dawson showed up at the house and said, "Hey, I booked us a show to open up for fucking Dayseeker. We've got a week and we only had one song." But yeah, it's Welcome To It was the second song I ever wrote, and then y'all guys did y'all's vocals on it, and it freaking turned out sweet. But now it's even cooler because we can go back and we are much, much better and more knowledgeable at what we do just from experience. 10 years of us just doing it as a hobby. We've learned a lot over the years and able to just track stuff here on actual interfaces with actual nice microphones. I'm pretty sure back when we recorded then, we were just using your stage Shure mic. It was absolute dog shit.
100% was using the stage mic.
Now we got grown-up money.
Yeah, we got money now.
Yeah.
Boy, we making $50,000 a year, baby. Let's go. But no, it's cool to freaking send it to Steven and let Steven do his freaking like professional production stuff on it, and it actually sound really freaking sweet.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think it's really cool to come back to as well. You know, I was in a band prior to Strangers to September, and we were absolute dog shit. And we'll get into it, but you know, I ended up joining Strangers, and when we wrote Welcome To It, I remember thinking, man, this is the best song I've ever been a part of at that time, and I was so stoked on that. And then we recorded it, and even though it wasn't like the best production, like at the time, dude, we thought it was fucking sick. Yeah. And
we were walking on water, dude.
And it was, and it was sick. Like it was so sick. I remember just like cruising around in the car, like all of us, just fucking listening to it over and over again. Yeah. But no, I think it's really cool to come back to it 10 years later, now that we have all that experience and big boy money, and you know, we've got Steven, and I think that song still holds up to this day. Yeah. You know, even though we wrote it 10 years ago, I think it's still a damn good song, and now it just sounds like 1,000 times better.
Oh yeah, 10 times. I agree. 10 times full.
Yeah.
So I just hate how simplistic the guitar is, because back then I wasn't as good as I am now, so I couldn't get very creative or technical back then. It was just like chords, chorus, chug, breakdown, chorus, chug, the end, and we were like, fuck yeah,
yeah,
this is heavy.
Well, a lot of songs though, they're pretty simple anyway.
But whenever we were re-recording it, I was like, I want to change it up somewhat, but I don't want to. If I play the way I play now, I'll end up turning it into a completely different song, and it wouldn't be the same. So I tried to keep the guitar as original as it was whenever we wrote it back in the day.
So with that in mind, though, there is some tweaks that have been made to the song. Like, what did you do creatively differently on this version than you did the last two versions?
Step 1, recorded to a fucking metronome, 135 beats per minute to be exact. Made sure everything was on time, as clean as possible. Actually ran into problems there halfway through recording this. My fucking guitar exploded, and it's currently being repaired by Brian Chenoweth at Valley Piano. Any musician that lives in our area knows Brian. Absolute fantastic guy, dude. I love you. Thank you for everything you do. But no, I just recorded to a metronome, made everything as clean as possible. Only addition that I personally did was the breakdown that was originally in the song didn't have a lead behind it, because we just wanted to go hard on stage, and that's all we cared about. But I went ahead and put just like a simple, fast tapping lead to fill the space in the breakdown, and then let Steven change the bridge at the end to like sound big. But that's about all we changed, man.
Yeah.
It came out sick though.
Yeah, we changed some stuff up lyrically a little bit here and there. You know, Steven added a spot in there. We got rid of that one section that you did.
Yeah.
Um,
I hated that part. I'm not gonna lie.
you didn't like that?
No.
No.
I mean, I liked
You
it
hated what?
back then, but like, I guess through
Are you
the
talking
years,
about like the part was like
the little
I'm forced
bridge part that I
to
was singing?
Deal with the
live with
thought.
all these thoughts inside my head and all the words
Yeah.
my father said. Oh,
Yeah.
I hate that you hated that because I loved it.
Oh, I did
like
too.
the lyrics and stuff, but I'm just saying, like, after I guess the years of listening to the song and stuff later on, I was just like, I could have done better. Not like,
The lyrics resonated with me at the time, like really, really well.
Yeah, it does so even more so with me too. Now that my dad's gone, I really liked those lyrics you put in there.
Yeah, I kind of wish we would have kept them.
I do too. But once Steven changed it would have been like so fast compared to how Ricky originally sang it. It wouldn't have fit.
Yeah, it wouldn't have worked.
yeah. Well, hey,
Yeah,
we live and we learn.
yeah, for sure.
Coming back to Welcome to It 10 years later. So, truth be told, I was actually never in the band Strangers to September. I've only come into this as a startup project with Brad becoming the Fallthrough. But it is like coming back to it almost 10 years later because I actually produced their album that had Welcome to It version 2. Which was awesome. I really enjoyed working with these. These are the coolest guys I had ever worked with. Super nice. You know, they even made me a card. You know, they sent me a card for working with them. It says, "Here's a kick-ass card for working with us, helping us out. For real, we appreciate it and look forward to working with you again. Much love from all of us and strangers." That is a cool. No one's ever done that for me that I've worked with. I thought that was so cool. But you know, Brad was a fan of the band I was in before, and Still I Rise, and he had reached out to me wondering if I could help them produce this EP, and I did, and I'm really glad I did because I developed an amazing relationship with him over the years. Even though I've never met him in person yet. We've become really good friends shooting song ideas back and forth via the internet, and I'm really proud to be part of this project. Going into this song, I was really excited that we decided to redo this song, and I was just to the moon with being able to be part of it, just because I loved it from the beginning, from version 1 all the way to the version we have that we're going to give you now. So yeah, it's awesome. I couldn't ask for anything better. These guys are great. You guys are going to love it. A little more in depth on coming back to it 10 years later. So when Brad initially reached out to me, you know, he was discussing the band and like, you know, what they were looking for as far as sound, and he had sent me a link to a YouTube video, which was with the version 1 of Welcome to It. It was the original producer that did version 1. And the video, it was dubbed over the video that I believe it was a concert that they opened up for Dayseeker, I think. And I'm listening to it, and the first thing I hear Ricky's vocals. And I'm like, wow, man, it's so powerful. I love the way that sounds. And then Dawson comes in with these false chord screams. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to love doing this. And, you know, Brad, once he had gathered all the files from tracking the band and sending them over to me, I go and I start to preview them, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, this isn't what I heard on version 1. Well, it turns out that they had a lineup change in time. They had a lineup change, so both the vocalists were different on the version that I did. I still love it. I still love the way it came out. You know, and every version of this song is going to have its own flavor, its own feel. I love all of them. But I'm really happy that in this version, I get to utilize the original members, Ricky's vocals and Dawson's vocals, along with a little bit of my own, to turn this into what it is. But yeah, it it's going to be amazing. I mean, that's all I got to say. I can't wait for you guys to hear this.
So let's talk about how we each kind of got into music. I don't care who goes first. Like, we'll start with you, Ricky. How did you get into music, man?
Man, really and truly, it's always been like a part of my family. Like, my dad was a musician growing up for years. I mean, as a kid, my dad always had a recording studio in the house. We weren't ever allowed to like touch it or anything. But
Bro, speaking about that, didn't your dad like cut a bass track for MJ once? I'm pretty sure he told me that.
He's cut a lot of stuff for a lot of people. I can tell you that. I don't know, but my dad, he was a crazy musician. They were almost signed and stuff, but he, had to go through some stuff. But yeah, that was just how I got into it, man. Everybody in my family there's like 9 of us. I've got 8 siblings.
Mm-hmm.
So each and every one of us plays different instruments or sings or raps or whatever, man. We're all musicians, and it's just in our blood, I guess. I don't know. It's crazy to watch because I got a kid now, and he's 3, and from the time he was 1, he's been like a drummer. Like, he picks up drumsticks and he's on time and everything. I'm like, nobody taught him this. It's just in his blood, man. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Music has always been a part of my life. So.
Yeah.
I think you may need to turn Ricky up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think the mic either isn't close enough to him where I need to turn him up.
Cool.
There you go.
I brought the
Can hear
mic
him
in
now.
a little bit, Mo.
There we go. We're learning. Okay, Brad, what about you?
I mean, mine's pretty much the same as Ricky. I grew up in a family that pretty much every single person played something. I mean, my mom can play piano with the best of them. My grandma on my mom's side sang in the operas. Like, she had a voice that was just like insanely powerful. My aunt is now currently a Grammy Award-winning country singer,
Fucking crazy.
guitar player. Freaking, my grandpa played guitar, my great-grandpa played guitar, and I just grew up around so many musicians and singers, and I've been playing guitar since I was like 3. I don't even remember learning how to play guitar. It's just like I've always known how to. Now, I didn't take it seriously until I was 16, and I had a bad accident and got hurt and was in the hospital for a long time, and then I was like bedridden for 6 months. So I looked over one day and had a guitar in my room, and I was like, man, I have nothing better to do other than to just sit here and get better at this. And then after that, it kind of just took off.
Cool. Yeah, for me, mine's not probably as cool. I just fucking loved rock and roll and metal in high school, and I loved vocals. I was really inspired by Bring Me the Horizon, Ollie Sykes at the time, and I wanted to do vocals, and so I just started practicing on my own, just in the house, making shitty YouTube videos that I would upload. Hopefully they're not even existent anymore. I don't know if you could even find them. I don't know. And then I was living in Texas at the time, and I moved back to Arkansas. That was hot. I moved back to Arkansas, and my buddy Omar learned to start playing the drums, and he hollered at me, and he was like, hey, like, I want to start a band. He's like, I seen your YouTube video of you doing these vocals. He's like, you want to do a band? And I was like, hell yeah, let's do a band. I've always wanted to do that. And so we met up, we started that band, or whatever, and it was dog shit. I mean, it is what it is. It was dog crap.
I got into music at a really early age. I've been into all different types of music. I played saxophone in elementary school. Once I got into, end of elementary, going into junior high, I really took a liking to guitar. And I started playing guitar. It was my most favorite thing in the world. I couldn't put the thing down. And even at an early age, I got into recording. I had one of those 4-track Tascam cassette recorders, and I just loved being able to put ideas down, make ideas, rhythm guitar part and a lead part. That was so fun for me. Growing up, I was really into 90s alternative music, Stone Temple Pilots, Pearl Jam, bands like that. And in the early 2000s really got into the metalcore, hardcore scene. I've been in a couple different bands. I was in the Marine Corps. Once I got out of the Marine Corps, I was in a band called Cyanic, which was like a death metal band, deathcore band. And then I went on to work with And Still I Rise. Starting that with some really good friends of mine. One of them actually also a producer, which we would work together, putting stuff together. And he actually taught me everything I know. His name's Mike Gross. When it comes to doing this, with a DAW through a computer, that was a hard thing for me to learn. But once I got it down, I never put it down. But I love playing all kinds of different instruments. Obviously, I love guitar. I have 4 different guitars, including acoustics. I got a 12-string Takamine acoustic guitar that I love. I play bass, like to sing, scream. I like playing piano, the keys, creating cool synth sounds and strings. That's really fun for me. It's one of my funner things I like to do. I've dabbled in drums. I'm not great at them. I'm sure I'm missing a few, but no, I've always been into music. Just love the emotion and how it can change your mood in a second, on any given day. I've been that way since a very early age. I've been drawn to music since I can remember.
And I guess, we can talk about how we kind of joined Strangers to September. We can lead into that. But how I ended up joining Strangers to September is we was playing this show at a local fucking bar. And this is not like a metal bar, a rock bar, or anywhere that you would even expect to see a metal band, right? And we show up there to play this show.
Sticks,
yeah, it is. It's in Sticks. This is like...
People come in there and they're like, where's Hank Williams Jr.?
Yeah. And so we get there to play this show, and dude, everyone's just trying to enjoy their fucking dinner. And the audio guy was out that day, so like we were in charge of our own audio. Dude, the feedback was insane. It was fucking terrible.
Didn't help that your guitar player didn't use a noise suppressor.
No, it was awful. It straight up was awful. But Brad actually ended up showing up for whatever reason. You can speak on that.
Yeah, no, we went there intentionally because at that time, that's when me and Logan, Kevin, and AJ were a band, and then AJ wasn't in the band anymore, and we needed a vocalist. If I remember correctly, Logan was like, dude, I saw on Facebook that Front Street is having a metal band play. We should go and watch it. And I was like, absolutely. I was like, well, we didn't even know who it was or what we were in for, but we're like, let's fucking go have some beers and watch this random ass band play here and see what the crowd fucking thinks about it. It was fun though. We just got some food and had some beers and watched y'all just go. I don't even know what word to use.
Bro, I remember standing on that stage, and I told everyone before we started, I was like, get ready to fucking hate us for the next 30 minutes. And that's exactly what happened. Except for these guys, I guess. Maybe a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, and then I don't even remember how, like, it came about like me joining Strangers. I just remember, I don't remember who messaged me, who got in contact with
No,
me.
it was Logan, because we left that show with the mindset we were like, man, that band was absolutely terrible, but we were like, the vocalist definitely, he knows what he's doing. He's not where he needs to be, but you can see that he has the potential. He knows what he's doing. And Logan was like, dude, let's go talk to him after the show and tell him to play with us. And I was like, we're not going to walk up to a fucking band and in front of the rest of his band say, hey, leave these fucking guys, come be with us. And I was like, I'm not doing that. And we left, and then Logan that night found you. He looked up y'all's band, found you and messaged you and was like, hey, you should come and play with us. Here's our song. And here's our absolute terrible song that we thought was good at the time.
Safe Haven.
Dude, that song was so bad, but man, I was proud of it when I did it.
Yeah, I remember that now that you're saying it. I guess it was Logan that reached out to me and asked me. And dude, the Scouts Inside was shit. I knew it was shit. The band wasn't like trying. They didn't give a crap. I was the only one that really did. And so I was already like looking for an exit plan anyways. And so then it was like, I don't know, it was like fate almost that y'all came along. It just worked out that way. And y'all sent me Safe Haven, was like, learn this song and then come to band practice. And I remember I showed up, I'm in my Walmart fucking clothes, like blue shirt, khaki pants, and your mom was like, this dude's gonna scream.
And you're like 8 feet taller than all of us, too.
Yeah. Like, there's like an ongoing joke that I was like the dad or the grandpa of the group.
Kevin was the only person like near as tall as you. I think Kevin is as tall as you, but like, how much older are you than me? Like 2 years older than me, 1 year older than me?
I'm 34.
Okay, yeah, so you're only 2 years older than me. But to us at the time, you were 2 years older than us. We were like, God damn, this guy's old as hell, dude.
Yeah, dude, there was an ongoing joke. I remember it. But yeah, we jammed Safe Haven all together, and I remember right after we got done with that song, y'all were like, yeah, you want to be in the band? And I was like, yeah. And I remember you messaged me, and you was like, you got to leave the fucking other band. You can't be in both bands. And I was like, fuck.
We take 100% commitment in here.
And so I was like,
you
okay.
just got drafted to like freaking Florida State or something. Like, no, you can't sign to the Razorbacks and us. It has to be us.
You had to put them on a diet.
But I was like, yeah. So I fucking left and joined Strangers, and yeah. Ricky, how did you join the band? You were in there before me.
I love how Ricky joined the band, dude.
I vaguely remember this. I just remember all of a sudden, I think I got a message from you, Brett.
No.
On Facebook. Or no, you put out a video or something saying that you wanted somebody to try it out.
Yeah, we posted a video of like saying that we wanted a singer to sing choruses and stuff. And we were like, so take any band that you like, whatever songs you like, just record yourself singing along with it, and we're going to go from there. And you and like 3 other people sent us a video, and the other people were fucking terrible, dude. I just don't understand how people can like record themselves and hear themselves so bad and be like, oh, this is good.
That's great.
Bro, I know somebody like that. You've seen it.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Bro, so before we go any further, is how we hear our voices in this, is that the sound that's going to be when you...
No.
Because it just sounds like so spacey and...
No, it'll work itself out. I think so. Pretty sure.
Okay. Because it sounds far
and
out.
I have the ability to also fix stuff as well. So,
but no. After all that,
and I'm recording on that one too as a backup.
We watched Ricky's video, and you were singing.
I don't remember what I sang. I think it was like Memphis Mayfire. You sang,
you sang Memphis Mayfire. It was off the Center album.
Was this prior to Homeboy leaving when y'all were South by Nowhere, or was this after?
No, I think it was way after.
Yeah, it was after he left.
So was it right before me?
You did. You did the Victim.
That's
by
right.
Memphis Mayfire, and it was so good. And me and Logan were like, because as soon as it said Memphis Mayfire, we were like, damn, this guy's gonna try and sing Matty Mullins.
I was like, this guy is full of himself.
Oh yeah, that was like, he's confident, dude. and we were ready to roast you, dude. And then you were really fucking good, and I was like, call him. Call him. And it turns out fucking I didn't even know you were because I had been friends with Avery for so many years.
For those who don't know.
Yeah, I grew up from like elementary school to senior year in high school with his brother and had no idea that they were brothers.
Even though we had the same last name, I don't know how.
And a million people have fucking Collins as a last name.
So when he sends this video in, y'all didn't even know who he was at the time?
No. I had no idea.
No? Yeah, okay. So this was prior to...
Yeah, and I vaguely knew of Brad at the time when I sent the video.
Probably hated me like everybody else.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to send this to this douchebag.
So we ended up getting together, forming the band. Josh was in it for a little bit as like the bass player. He ended up leaving. I don't even remember why. Was it when we booked the shows? Was it when we booked the show?
The shows.
He was like, I'm out.
I think...
Because he was just now learning to play
Josh,
bass too.
Josh, if you see this and I get it wrong, feel free to correct me. But I think that Josh thought, like, when we were doing it, that he essentially thought what our plans were to do what we do now. To record music, record it, put it up, and not do anything. Not go, like, have to practice nonstop and open up for, like, actual big bands. Mm-hmm. I think once he realized we were going to play shows and stuff, that he didn't want to have to put that much time and effort into it. And he was just like, politely, I'm going to step away. And I had no problem with that.
Which worked out anyways, because Ricky can slay bass, and so Ricky just picked up the bass and did the cleans and the bass at the same time. So
yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. So yeah, we started getting together. We started working on music. We didn't even, well, actually, I'd say working on music. We really didn't have a song other than Safe Haven, and then just kind of bullshitting around there for a little bit. But we went to IHOP. No, not IHOP. We went to Waffle House. I think we'd been drinking. We were at Waffle House, and I seen a flyer for a concert coming up, and it was Dayseeker, Kingdom of Giants, and Death of an Era. And I loved Death of an Era at the time, so I was like, hell yeah, like I want to open up for this band. And it was a downtown music hall, which is non-existent now. But I had a good like working relationship with the owner of that place. And so I remember being like, guys, I can get us on this show, even though we have like no music out. And y'all were like, I don't know if it was like drunk talk or what, but y'all were like, yeah. And so then I was like, okay, I'm messaging like literally while we're sitting there, she messages me back and she says, you're on the bill. And so we were like, I think reality then set in because like we had no song other than the Safe Haven song that y'all had previously written. And so we had like 2 weeks maybe.
No, we had exactly 2 weeks.
We had 2 weeks
coming up so soon.
And we had like no music, and we was like, all right, we've got to come up with like a 20-25 minute set at least to open up for these bands. And we just like fucking started getting to work.
Yep.
And Welcome to It ended up being the first song that we had written and composed as a band.
Yeah,
so
that was fun, man. Y'all are actually starting to bring back a lot of the small bits of information that I forgot.
Yeah,
yeah, dude. I feel like so much of it is a blur.
Yeah, I was just
Dawson remembers fucking shit. Like Dawson remembers everything, and he can bring back my memories all the time.
Yeah, I've done too much.
Dude, I remember so much about that time of our life. Like I can tell you.
You must have not been as drunk as me then.
I know.
Dude,
yes. I was drunk more than I wasn't back then.
I felt like every time I saw y'all, I was drunk.
If we weren't working, like if we didn't work that day, we were drunk by 10 a.m.
Going to the gas station and getting some fucking food. Let's see how it plays out. Unlock the door. So Ricky, is it cold out here? No! Oh yeah, it's fucking cold.
That's
yeah.
true.
Every day. And then we just kept drinking until 3 a.m. and went to sleep and did it all over again.
Yeah. So we worked really hard. Got, I don't know, a handful of songs. Was it like 4, 5 songs? How many was it? Was it 4?
I think it was like 5.
So we knocked out, let's count this down. We knocked out Welcome to It.
As I turn towards the sky, a search for you. This is my divine letter to the one I never met. The part of me you were meant to find is already dead. The path that leads me by my heart.
Then the first one that came after that, I don't remember what it was called.
Oh.
Wasting Time.
Yeah.
And Ricky was like,
I don't know what
I can't remember the freaking words
I
to
might
it.
have it somewhere. I think I do have that.
And then
somewhere.
after Wasting Time, it was A Dream.
The Dream, yeah. That one was like, dude, we thought A Dream was so fucking cool then.
Yeah, we thought
because
that
it was like,
I mean, give us some credit. The breakdown in A Dream was heavy as hell.
it was
in the beginning of it, I remember that.
It was
'cause I-
heavy.
that was one of my favorite songs to
but
play. 'cause
that
I
whole
was like,
song was about like trying to make it and like knowing like
Oh yeah, looking,
know.
looking back, I mean, it gives me goosebumps how cringe the shit we were saying
it was like trying to make it but no one believing in you or believing in the band or whatever.
fucking
It's just
embarrassing.
lame.
It's
lame.
embarrassing, bottom line.
Dude.
But the breakdown went
nobody wants to hear
hard.
that. I do, yeah.
It's funny.
Let's
Let's play
we
this.
were in like drop A. It was so low, and we were in drop A with like standard size strings, so the strings are just sitting there
Just
flapping.
flopping around.
Let's play a section of The Dream right here. Okay, so we also what was the first song that you mentioned that the next song? Wasting Time.
Wasting Time. Yeah.
So Wasting Time. Dude, I don't remember a whole lot about these songs.
Me either. Hold on.
Crawling, I find.
Yes, I loved it.
Back, I will say my
Yeah.
eyes, 'cause I
Can't find the line.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
That was like heavily inspired by the Color Morale at the time.
Yeah.
Because at the time, the Color Morale was the shit.
And that's
dude.
what we were listening to all the fucking time.
So we were like, let's completely copy them.
Yeah, shit. Let's drop that right there too.
I'm lost in the dark of night, screaming and crawling on fire. To the blackened skies I'll train my eyes, 'cause I can't find the light. Heading down the road with no lights, no signs. Dark the road and the black and whites. You're just a man, no less than you. I'm cursing the fear and I travel the blue. In my past won't keep me dead.
So we had all those songs. I think everything that's on the EP is the songs that we played live, plus
No.
Safe Haven. The only one that we didn't play live was Close to
Yeah,
Home.
we
Yeah, it was
never
the
got
last
to
one,
play
Close
that
to
one.
So Close to Home was the last song we had
Because
written.
we played that show, we wrote all those songs and played that show before ever recording these songs.
Yeah.
We were literally only playing them off memory.
Yeah.
That was it.
And we didn't write Close to Home until we were finally recording for the first time.
Yeah.
We will hold our ground for the night. No pain, we survive the fight. Our heads up high, with our fists to the sky, screaming out
So we was playing all the songs on the EP other than Close to Home, plus the Safe Haven song. That was our set list. I'm pretty sure that we played every time. And
We started because we created that little intro. Dude, that
went hard too. Like when we came out to that,
yeah,
dude,
was
that
awesome.
went hard, and it was like, dude, and I did that like. There's a video somewhere of like me doing that growl, and I wish I could growl that long still. Like, dude, I guess because we were fucking doing it every day, like I could hold that growl out so long, and there's a video of me doing that, and it just goes on forever, and like everyone's just like moshing, and it was so sick. I love that.
Yeah, I forgot all about that intro. Dude.
Yeah, dude, it was sick.
Everybody's gonna hear me burp like 500 fucking times.
It's all good.
I'm gonna seem very gross because I am. Ask my wife.
So let's talk about the first show. So we played our first show once again with Kingdom of Giants, Day Seeker. Death of an Era dropped off. I was upset about that, but it is what it is.
And hey, let's give ourselves credit, boys. If it wasn't for us playing that show, no one, Kingdom of Giants and Dayseeker would have played to
nobody.
one.
That's true. We brought
And that's
the
not
whole entire.
That's
crew.
not being cocky or anything. Every ticket sold was sold by us.
That's true.
Yeah.
We physically sold every ticket to
Like,
that show.
Every family member, friend, anybody that knew us, like we sold that motherfucker, dude.
You can go on Strangers to September's Facebook and see the crowd, and it's literally like my family, my cousins,
12 people.
my friends, his family, his friends, and like they came to see us. And then when other bands started playing, everyone's like, "I guess we're gonna go home." And then when Kingdom of Giants played,
It was us.
It was us in the crowd.
He was,
But
dude.
I
That's
felt
tough.
bad about that
I
because
did too.
I
They're the
loved.
headliner, weren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I loved freaking Kingdom of Giants at the time too. I was so ready.
And that was
for
when
that.
Dayseeker was like super, like nobody knew
Small.
about them. Yeah.
And now they have like 9 million views
yeah, and now
per
they're
song.
like one of the biggest bands out there right now.
And they were dicks to us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they
but
were.
then asked to borrow what the bass cab.
my bass cab.
Yeah. They asked
After
us
they're
for
dicks to us, they're like, "Hey, can we
freaking
borrow
bass
y'all
Yeah, they
bass
didn't even.
cab?"
The messed up part was they weren't even in there while we were playing. Like,
Yeah, they
the
left.
other bands were there.
Kingdom of Giants
Kingdom
watched.
Giants and who's the other band?
Pedestrian.
Adestria.
Oh,
that's
yeah, I
right.
forgot about
I forgot
them.
about them. Yeah, Adestria was there, and
Didn't after our set,
were
didn't
gone.
Adestria's vocalist come talk to you and they were
Yeah.
like, "Dude, you're fucking good."
yeah, they actually asked us. Adestria and Kingdom of Giants asked us to go to finish the tour with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were like, "We
was
have
like-
no money."
Yeah, they did. I remember that. They were like, they were
we didn't
so.
even drive ourselves
Yeah.
here. We
Bro,
don't have a way
My
to.
mom brought us up here. Like,
they were shocked that was our first show. I remember that
Yeah.
conversation. They were like, "This is y'all's first show," and we're like, "Yes."
Like,
And they
yeah,
were
that's why
like,
my hands are shaking.
and they were like, "Y'all boys need to go on finish this tour with us." I remember that, and
Yeah.
I remember being like so fucking amped at that
Yeah,
moment.
I was like, what?
That compliment hit me right here, and I was like puffing my chest. I was like, "You're right, we are awesome."
Bro, and I had opened up to like bands before that in the other band, and I'd never ever been told that or heard anything like that. And our first show to hear that from these big bands, it was
Yeah.
like it was wild to hear.
Yeah, I
And,
played
like,
in other bands and stuff too, and it didn't. I've never been asked that question.
It's so cool. All right, so we're back after a quick little beer break. We were talking about our first show. Yeah, baby. What's wrong
not
with
a
this?
part of
What's
this.
wrong with this guy? Why did I end up being the middleman here? Is all I'm asking. But yeah, so we was talking about our first show, playing with all those bands, super cool. Y'all just brought up like I forgot about that it was like snowing and ice, and Aaron hauled all of our gear for us, didn't he?
Fuck
he
yeah,
did.
we weren't gonna freaking drive an hour and a half on the fucking interstate pulling a trailer while it's literally ice and snow.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
like, "Aaron, please. And Aaron was nice enough to do it for us for free.
Yeah.
Actually costed him money, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, bless his heart.
No.
Yeah, and he had drove us to a couple different shows, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Aaron was like the OG.
Yeah, he was
Aaron.
the MVP.
He was. He believed in what we was doing, and he supported it 100%. And so he was cool as hell. But yeah, so first show, super rad. I think we have a clip we can throw in here. So let's talk about recording the first EP that we did close to home. I had known this guy named Lucas. I'm sure he's watching this. Shout out Lucas, super cool dude. But I reached out to him. I'd played shows with him in the past, and I was like, "Hey man, I heard something he recorded. I don't even remember what band. I think he'd only worked with like one or two bands prior to us." And I was just like, "Hey, like, how much would it cost to, come record with you?" And it was cheap, like, which was a lot to us at the time, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we were like, "Shit, this is expensive." But like,
it was like looking. Didn't we pay him what? 300?
Yeah.
I think it was like 300.
Yeah.
5 songs.
Yeah, and to us, we're like, "Fuck, that's a lot of money." But like, looking back on it, it's like, man,
like, I'm never gonna financially recover.
Yeah. So, it's out in like Marshall, Arkansas, middle of nowhere.
$300 split between 6 guys.
Yeah, and we're fucking sweating it, dude. We're
like, "Hey man, we will have beer tonight.
I ate ramen noodles for like
We'll
3
find
weeks
beer
after
tonight."
that.
Yeah. So we all load up in I don't even remember Logan's vehicle, I think, and Logan drove us all the way to Marshall. I remember it being cold because there was
we drove in my Honda Civic, dude.
What did we?
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah,
vividly.
it was in the Civic because I remember us smoking and you had the ceiling fan. You was like, "Y'all want a cigarette?" Or not ceiling fan. What the hell am I talking about?
There's a ceiling fan in your Honda Civic?
Fucking moon.
I don't remember this.
That would be epic. Like, I got an air conditioner, but I got a ceiling fan there, dude.
Bro, it's hot in here. Crank on that ceiling fan in the car.
I guess just after 2 beers, man.
We
That's
took
just
Old
crazy.
Faithful, bud.
But yeah,
Can't hang no more, Ricky.
I know. Man, back in the day,
But no,
crazy.
that was
But yeah,
another reason. That was another thing, because we didn't have money and we were going to drive that far. And I was like, "Well, bro, my Civic gets freaking 45 miles to the gallon. We'll take the car then."
Yeah, and it was still icy, snowy. I remember we got there. We recorded drums first for Welcome to It. And so Kevin recorded, and we did it like out in a fucking barn. Do y'all remember that?
Props.
I do. Absolutely.
It was a fucking like barn.
Props to
No
Kevin,
click
though,
track
dude.
or anything.
Yeah, props
That
to
was
Kevin.
crazy.
Dude recorded. It didn't take him more than 2 takes per song to play the entire song from start to finish. Like, most days now, a band is going to record, like a drummer's going to record the song all the way through, and then any parts he doesn't like, a producer's going to click him in to be able to fix specific spots, like to make it intricate and perfect. Kevin literally, each song, played it all the way through, 3.5 to 4 minutes long, played it all the way through perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Kevin was so freaking
The only
good.
way he knew how he was doing it, I think you played guitar while he was
Yeah,
doing it.
I would say I
was
sat
just
there
straight-
on the side and I would play my guitar parts, and that's all he followed.
Yeah.
And dude, when Kevin would get behind the kit, it was like he turned into just like a machine.
Yeah, I missed that, man.
Dude, he was so good.
Do you ever, speaking of stuff like that, do you ever wonder why people like with such musical talent stop playing an instrument or stop trying to create artistically?
Yeah.
I
I've
mean,
been there.
I can
Been
think
there.
of plethora of reasons. Real life kicks in, and it's like, hey, you get taxed on the money you make, you get taxed on the money you spend, the object you just bought and you've paid taxes for, we will tax you for it 2 more times every year. And then whenever you get a bonus, we're going to tax that. Your gas is taxed, your food is taxed, your tax is taxed. And so it's like, well, okay, now I got to get a real job, which is pretty much what Kevin had to do. It's just he's like, I've got to work full time. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And then there's people that just kind of like what happened with me when strangers had gotten to the point that it did, and we had come in contact with management companies and everything, and then 2 other band members fucked it up for me. I fucking... That at my point was like, dream crushed, I'm not doing it anymore. And I should have just kept going. And
Yeah, we'll get into that here in a minute. So we tracked Welcome to It was first. We did that all in one day at Lucas's house. So we did the drums first, then we went into his house to do the guitars and the vocals. And like I remember recording vocals like in the closet of this dude's bedroom. Y'all were like sitting on the bed recording the fucking guitars and
to record, though,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
And anyways, we put like a talking. I don't even remember. Do you remember what the quote is? It was something that you really liked at the beginning of
was
it.
C.S. Lewis.
Yeah,
dude.
that's what
Yeah.
I was going to say. I was going to say it was something that had to do with C.S. Lewis.
And we didn't know what to do for the intro, and I remember you being like, "Hey, I really like this quote," and so I ended up just like reading it, and he put it in there at the beginning of that song to start the song, and I think it came out pretty cool.
Narnia, dude.
Yeah, fucking Narnia. But yeah, so we're having like a pretty good time. I remember we took a break. We went to like go eat McDonald's somewhere or whatever. But I remember as we were getting later into the evening, Lucas's dad, Lucas, if you're watching this, don't kill us. But like Lucas's dad came in and was fucking furious.
He was-
Yeah, he was.
Do y'all remember that?
For lack of better words, he was big man.
Dude, he was like, all right, time to get the fuck out of my house. And we were like, we paid $300 to be here, god damn it. And like we're gonna finish this shit. And I remember Lucas like getting into it with his dad, and we're all just sitting there because we don't know, like I know Lucas, but like just through music. And so like we sure as hell don't know his dad, and we're like, what the fuck do we do? And we're just sitting there like so awkwardly this entire time as like they're arguing and fighting back and forth, and Lucas is like, we're finishing this fucking song. I don't care if this is your house and you pay the bills.
Bro, why isn't your dad cool with 6 random dudes screaming at the top of their lungs in his living
In your
room?
closet.
Why isn't he okay with that, dude?
Yeah. So anyways, I just remember that and just being like, it was so awkward, but like
I
looking
was
back
so
on it,
uncomfortable,
it's
dude.
so
Yeah,
funny
that
looking
was
back.
very awkward. I'm not going to lie. That was crazy.
Yeah.
So I remember we were like, all right, so we finished Welcome to It, and he was just like, all right, next weekend I'm going to come out to y'all's place and he's like, I'll just record it there. So he like brought his stuff and we recorded like, I think the next weekend at your house, and it was like a Saturday night, and dude, we recorded fucking until like 5 a.m.
Yeah, we just kept going. We just kept going until we finished the EP.
Yeah, we did the other, however many other 3 songs, whatever. We did them all that night, and we went to Shipley's Donuts. Do you remember that? It was like
Early in
we
the
were
morning?
still awake.
It was the sun was coming up.
Yeah, and we still hadn't finished anything yet. We went there, got donuts and shit, and we came back, and then we knocked out Close to Home, which was the last song.
Yeah.
And we were still writing lyrics for Close to Home. We didn't even have all the lyrics completed for Close to Home.
I actually think that's why we took the break. Just because we were like hitting writer's block
Yeah,
and we were up all night.
yeah, I think
And
so.
then we were like, man, let's just go take a break and we'll come back to
Yeah.
it. Came back and that shit.
Nowadays, I mean, we write one song in a span of 2 months, and that night we wrote 2 songs in 24 hours.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. It was crazy.
And Close to Home is like one of my favorite songs, in which I was upset that we never got to perform that live.
Yeah, I am.
Which is like why
when
we started the Fallthrough, I was like, dude, Brad, we need to redo Close to Home because I really liked that song.
Close to Home is probably my favorite. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Out of all the songs in that EP, just the way that one was written and how it came about, the whole story about that song, pretty much is why I like that one.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, what do I got next? All right, I guess we can get into the shitty part. Actually, no, let's talk about the Welcome to It music video, because we ended up playing a show at Juanita's.
Oh, yeah.
That was such a fun show, though.
It was.
Dude, that show
People
was
treated
awesome.
us like we were like a famous band.
I know, it was so weird, dude. They were having to sign shit and stuff, and
Who
I'm
did we
like,
play with at this show?
it was
Dark from day one.
That's right.
Natel hit up Brad.
And they were playing after us. They were opening up for us, and Dark for Day One were opening up for like a legit big alternative rock band at the
I
time.
couldn't remember.
I
who
can't
that was
remember
either.
who it was, but that's the reason the crowd was like 300, 400 people.
There's a lot of people there.
And we were
bunch.
afraid we were going to get booed because we had looked up who we were opening up for, and they were like, at the time on YouTube, they had like 125,000 views on their main song. And at the time, 125,000 views is a shit ton.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, holy crap, people are coming to see this alternative rock band, and we're going to be heavy.
They're like, what is happening? What the
We're
hell
going to
is
get
going on?
booed off. I remember my hands were shaking when we started our first song. I was like, man, we're going to get booed. This sucks so bad. And then the crowd went hard, and I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then my strap broke.
Yeah, I remember that.
On the last song.
The last song.
The one
It's in
where
video,
we're
too.
filming the music video.
Yeah, and it's actually in the music video.
Oh, was Welcome
You can
to
see
It the
me
last
on
song we played?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we were filming the music video, so we did it last.
But it wasn't even like our idea to do a music video. Somebody contacted you and was like, I'm going to film y'all.
Well, I think Natel was film. Dark from Day
doing a
One was
video.
filming a music video, and they had a crew that was coming to film like a legit video. And Natel was like, I think it was Natel reached out and was like, hey, y'all need to, like, I know this other guy that does videos, and he'll do it cheap. Y'all should get him to do it. So we ended up doing it because it wasn't expensive. And he had
it was like
there was like 3 different people with cameras or whatever. And you look back at it now, it looks like total ass.
Yeah, but it's still cool.
Yeah, it's still cool.
It's just got like a vintage look to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. You know what I'd like to do? Well, no, it wouldn't work anymore. I was gonna say it'd be cool if you could take the new version of it and overlay it over the top of it. Or
No,
something.
it would never match
It would
up.
never. It would.
Because
But it
once
wouldn't
again,
match
we
up.
didn't play to a click.
Yeah, so it wouldn't match
So
up.
it's just spontaneous through the whole thing.
Yeah.
We followed Kevin, and Kevin would get nervous on stage and play 3 times faster.
Oh my god.
And we would
yes.
have to keep up with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always remember that. Every show. Remember that show at the
The tattoo shop
parlor? Yeah.
played so fast.
Yeah. That was another
He
fun
would
show
go,
too.
That was
and we're like, holy shit! Trying to catch up with them.
Yeah.
That show was freaking lit, though.
Yeah,
dude.
That was a
was
lit
fun.
show. Yeah, dude.
Shout
Dude,
out
there was
Chris
some
Tyler.
people that were big mad at us at that show.
His whole freaking tattoo parlor. He's like, man, just come. He's like, I want to do a show. Y'all can come headline it.
It was a
And-
Halloween show.
Yeah, it was like
And
And he did Halloween tattoos like the
Yeah.
whole time.
Everyone we knew came.
Dude,
Filled
there
that
was-
entire
That
shop
was the
up.
smallest venue I've ever seen.
The
I've ever
shop
been in.
was full. It was into the lobby and then out the door into the parking lot. People were standing.
We went hard, dude. It was so fun.
Yeah, they were. There was some bands that were big mad, and I'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah,
because I want to know
like
if you were,
too, because I don't know anything about that.
All right, so yeah, so let's finish.
Let's
so,
fight 'em.
So anyway, so we recorded "Welcome to It" music video. We played there, but yeah, it was really cool because afterwards, like people were coming up to us, like, "Hey, can you sign this and do this?" And I remember vividly, a couple people came up to me, and I don't know if they said this to y'all, but they were like, "You know, y'all were the opening band, but the crowd like went harder for y'all than any of the other bands that played
But yeah,
tonight."
because we're 10 times heavier than everybody else here.
Yeah.
You gotta move, man.
Dude, I fucking stage dove and like almost didn't get caught. Like I was so excited and
I wish
into it.
you
I was
wouldn't
like,
have
dude, I'm
gotten
gonna
caught.
bail off this stage, and I gave no warning to this. I kind of like just looked at the crowd, was like, move forward, and I was like, hope to God they do, and I just bailed off, and like they almost did not catch
Dude,
me.
it-
That I was like,
It would have been so funny if we were playing our instruments and watch you jump off and just hit the floor.
I mean, it would have been
Dude, I would
hilarious.
have died, dude.
It would have been
I'd be
funny.
like, that's what you deserve.
But yeah, that was a good show, man. I had a good time. But yeah, so we ended up playing Electric Ink, I think is what it was called at the time, the tattoo
Yeah.
parlor. And Chris was like blasting tattoos in the back the whole time. We brought our PA system that was at your place. And so I remember there was a band that played with us. It was a band that I had knew them. I'd played a show with them prior, a bunch of older guys. And they were one of the bands that was opening up prior to us because we played last. And they were like big mad and was like, these guys think they're so fucking big. They think they're so cool with this PA system and these lights. Because we like turned like all the lights
Oh, you
went
had
off.
Yeah,
that
with the
fucking
red
you had the
lights,
box
the
with the
ducks.
light.
Yes.
I
Dude,
forgot all about that stupid fucking box.
bro, they were fucking big mad about that whole situation. And
they didn't like the amps and stuff that we had. too.
nah, dude, they were
Because
like,
we had legit gear.
yeah, they were mad because they're like all like 40-something-year-old men, and like we're like a bunch of younger guys, and we've got all this like legit stuff. And yeah, they didn't like it. I don't know if you all remember that or not.
I actually
Yeah,
didn't
I
really
didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, dude, they were
Well, that's because
pissy.
you were schweisted.
You
That's
were
fucking.
wasted.
That's Chris Tyler's fault.
Yeah,
that
he
was
was-
not my fault, dude. Dude, I hate that you gave me shit about
Oh,
that.
dude, Ricky
I
got
did.
mad too
I
about that
I forgot
situation.
about that. I did get mad. about
I
that.
looked at it as like the owner of the venue has invited us to headline, not just play, and then he would be like, "Hey, come back here and have a drink with me," and I wasn't gonna be like, "Fuck you, man." Like this is the
No.
owner. I went back there and I was like, "Yeah, I'll do a shot," and then I walk away. By the time I get back to my amp, Chris is like, "Hey, come do another shot," and I was like, "Dang!" I took another one, and he did that like 4 fucking times.
He had quite a few shots.
And then
before
by
the
the,
show.
by the time we got to the set, I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, I remember Ricky.
The only thing I fucked up was my fucking what was it? CGCF. My
Yeah, it was
F
like your-
my F string was out of tune.
out of tune just a little bit.
Dude,
But it annoyed the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. That was
So okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm like thinking of this all wrong, but it was right after that show you left the band, right?
about like a month
it was
after.
it was a short while.
And I thought it was part of that. I thought part of the reason was because of that show.
And I don't remember. I don't remember what the actual.
I remember you being mad though about Brad.
because I remember.
I remember.
I know you remember because I said a lot of shit.
I remember Brad. I mean, you being pissed off at Brad, and I think Logan, maybe Kevin too. I didn't drink like they did, but I remember you being mad because you were like, "Bro, we're supposed to be a legit fucking band, and these motherfuckers are getting drunk." I remember you being so pissed.
No, Ricky, you said whenever you left that another band had asked you to join. And it was like, and I can't remember what their name was, but they had gone on like their first legit tour.
Yeah.
And you went and played with them for a little bit or something, and then it didn't work out or something like that. But you used the excuse that another band.
I think that was an excuse.
He said, "I think it was an excuse."
No, joking.
Okay,
And I was
so
like, damn,
so
Dick.
let's get into it because this is when the band kind of starts to fall apart. So we had that show not too long after that. Who left first? Was it Ricky or Kevin?
It was me.
It was you 1st? So Ricky left. So Ricky, what was the real? Because I've never even got to ask you this. What was the real reason you left?
I really don't know. I'm trying to think back. I know part of it, I think, did have to do with that show. And then we got like, I do know. We had gotten a few offers from like management companies.
Yeah,
or
smaller
something like that.
labels
Smaller
and stuff.
labels or whatever. And I know everybody was like super stoked to sign. But my dad, like I said, he was a musician his whole life. He's been in the business and all that. I took the shit to him. And I let him read it.
And it was dog shit.
Yeah, it was terrible. They're going to take everything we had. Like, absolutely everything.
We didn't care at the time.
Logan
we were
was-
too naive,
Yeah.
too young, too
We
dumb.
were ready to fucking sign papers
and I think
and
that
go.
was the reason. That was
Without
the
even
actual,
reading it. But fuck.
We're like,
Yeah, they're so ready to just be signed. Like
We
a
were.
signed band. I was like, no,
We
they're
were.
going to take everything you have. Like, everything we have. And I think that kind of played into it. And I was just kind of like, well, I don't know. And then I felt like Logan was the real reason why. I felt like he was doing something that really pissed me off. And I think I gotten to it with him or something like that right before I left too.
so
I can't remember.
looking
I
back,
don't remember
looking
that.
back on it, do you regret leaving the band, or do you think that was the right decision?
I regret it.
You regret it?
Especially because
So fast.
especially because right afterwards, like they got the new guys. Ugh. Not joking. The new
We'll
guys,
get into that.
Nick and all them, but they sounded so much better. I was like,
Oh, when Adalophobia dropped.
yeah. I was like, man, that sounds nice. And then
Because
I
they
was
had
like-
it
and then they
fucking
said-
recorded with a legit
yeah,
fucking person.
yeah, that's true. And that was I guess that
We
was the reason
actually,
I was like, dang,
we
I kinda missed
actually
that.
didn't.
Well, you had it mixed and produced by a
Yeah.
legit person, I should say.
and that's-
Y'all recorded
yeah,
it yourselves.
So we
You just sent it to him.
we recorded it with.
Hold on, we're gonna jump ahead. Don't jump ahead yet.
Okay, I'll
right.
shut the fuck up.
All right, thank you. So Ricky leaves. So Kevin ends up leaving, but I don't remember why Kevin left. But Kevin ended up leaving.
Do you want me to touch base on that?
Yeah, go ahead. Touch base because I don't remember. This is the one thing I don't remember.
and I was gone, so I don't know. Fuck.
So, Kevin, if you happen to see this, I know that you left because of me. Was 150% my fault, 10% your fault. So, Kevin made a mistake, as we all do when we're young and we do stupid shit. But y'all know we all lived in the same house and shit. And Kevin got a girlfriend and moved that girlfriend in.
Oh yeah.
And she was
Can I get a bleh?
not paying rent, not paying for any of our groceries, not doing anything. And then I was slowly getting irritated with it and do what I do and let shit build up until eventually I explode. And one day we were having a movie night and me, Logan, and Kevin were supposed to like drink and watch this movie. And I won't say her name, but she shows up to the house and she's like, I'm going to watch too. And we were like, okay. And whenever the movie starts, she's like, we're not watching this. And I turned around and I was just like, this is my fucking house. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? We're not going to watch this movie. And she was like, well, Kevin and I live here too. I was like, what have you fucking paid for? And that's when Logan got big fucking mad too. And he was like, you don't fucking pay for shit. You do nothing but cause fucking problems here. Blah, blah, blah. And fucking Kevin was just being a good boyfriend and sticking up for his girlfriend. And I was just like, I can't remember. It's been so long. But I was just like, man, if y'all feel this fucking way, I was like, look, Kevin pays rent. I was like, if he wants to do something, that's fucking fine, whatever. I was like, you literally have no fucking say here. I was like, if you don't like it, I was like, both of y'all can get the fuck out of this house. I was like, I'm not fucking dealing with this. What are we talking about? And that was like the last straw. And fucking Yeah, and Kevin did say something to me that like stuck with me forever, and kind of made me end up growing up as a person, because what he said ended up being right. But whenever he quit the band and left the house, he looked at me and he was like, if you stay the way you are going to end up alone. And at the time, I was an arrogant fucking piece of shit with a short temper.
Like I said, douchebag.
Yeah, I was quite a bit of a douchebag. And when he said that, I didn't think anything of it. And then over the years, I pushed a lot of people away, and I had to learn to grow the fuck up and change as a person. But yeah, I mean, that was how Kevin ended up leaving the band. Kevin, if you do see it, don't blame you at all. 100% agree with the decision you made. And I'm sure you probably think you made a bad decision with your girlfriend at the time as well, but no hard feelings. I heard you play disc golf now. If you want to go, me and Ricky will gladly play disc golf with you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. That's cool, man, because like we were all young, dumb fucking kids back then.
And we were all
and there's no
hot-headed.
reason for any of us to fucking hold grudges or be upset with each other. Like, we're all grown-ass adults now.
Yeah.
So
We were all confident, short-fused, hormone-driven
Yeah.
hotheads.
No, I was gonna
Before-
say something else.
Before we move forward, I do want to backtrack real quick because I want to touch on a subject, because you had brought up people reaching out to us, like management, like certain labels, things like that. And I want to bring up the
video call?
I want to talk about the video
What
call.
was his fucking name?
I don't remember, but I want to bring that up and I want to touch on it because it's fucking hilarious. You looking it up?
Yeah, I'll be
Okay.
that guy in the back of the Joe Rogan show that like Googles everything.
So this guy reaches out to us through our Facebook, and he's like, "Hey, like I'm a management. The guy that manages his bands. I heard y'all's music, and I'd like to work with y'all. Let's set up a Zoom call. Let's have a conversation." So we were all super excited and stoked on this because this is the first time that someone's has reached out to us about our music, and so we're like feeling it pretty good. And so when we had looked up, and he had worked with like bands like Woe Is Me, and like I don't even remember all the bands he'd worked with, but it was like a pretty big list of bands. I think Icy Stars and some other ones were on this list. So we were like, oh shit. And so we're like, yeah, let's do this. So we ended up having this party one night. And so in Brad's house, we had this big ass like TV monitor and everything in the living room where we like had all that stuff. And Facebook was pulled up, and Logan, we were all drinking, we were drunk as shit. And he was like, "Hey, can you send us the music? Can you send me the music video for your new song?" And so we're like, "Yeah." So Logan copies the link for Welcome to It on his phone, and he sends it to this guy. Well, Facebook happened to be pulled up in the living room also, and we're sitting there, and it goes off, and I go over there and I click on it, and it says, "I don't think I want to work with y'all anymore." And I was like, fuck, dude. Our song sucks this bad. Like, the music video was that bad. Like, dude, did we just fucking ruin this? And fucking Alan was there. Mm-hmm. And Alan starts dying laughing. Like, he's losing it. And I'm like, what is going on? He's like, bro, that is not the link to your music video. And I'm like, what is this? And I click on this music video in the living room on this big ass monitor, and it's this fucking mansion. Camera zooms in on this house. The door opens up, and this.
And the website was bigblackbitches.com.
It was this big black transvestite guy, and he is fucking helicoptering his fucking dick saying bigbitches.com or whatever. And dude, I'm like, oh my God. And dude, Logan goes to the garage and is in there crying. And he's like, I've ruined us. We're never going to get signed.
Me and Ricky went outside, smoked a cigarette. We were laughing about it. We're like, damn, you can't make this shit up.
So what had happened was, what it found out had happened was Alan had sent Logan that link that day. And Logan had sent it to somebody else.
Because Alan's a fucking pervert.
And Logan thought that he had copied the fucking, the link for the music video, but he copied the wrong link, and so he sent the wrong link. And I remember us kind of like in a panic. We were like, "Oh man!" So we had some random chick like type up this this long ass paragraph, acting like they were our fucking supervisor or something,
Yeah,
like, and like send this off. And he ends up messaging us back, and he's like, listen, after like looking at it and hearing what you're saying, like, it's funny, it's whatever. So we ended up setting up that Zoom call, and we ended up actually having that meeting with him later on, but we ended up finding out he's like a pure fucking joke.
Yeah, he's like
He was in. Because what was it? Cameron Mazzell was the producer for Memphis Mayfire.
Yeah.
Had his own like Facebook page where fans could go and like talk about music and gear and stuff. And that guy was like a running joke in Cameron Mazzell's Facebook page of like how many bands he had scammed out of money and shit. But we were like, oh, he's gonna make us big time. We're gonna be on fucking Warped Tour this year.
Yeah, but we found out pretty quickly that he was scamming, like gonna scam us, and so we kind of just shut that down.
Well, yeah, it's because that fucking contract is
the
what
one
he sent us.
Yeah, that
That
was
was
the
one
one
of
that he
them.
sent
He's
us.
like, I'm going to take 85% royalties. I'm
And
going
he
to take
said, like-
95% of merch sales.
Yeah, it was a ton of the merch. I want to say it was.
He
like
was basically like,
75%.
you're going
I
to
was like, that's how we
tour.
get around.
You're going to tour for 2 months, and your profit will be 3 ramen noodle packets and a Milky Way.
And it
Basically,
said
it
that
wasn't
they
good.
would own all the masters. They
Yeah.
had the right to the name of the band and the members of the band. That's one thing that really pissed me off because I was like, they can just take our name and kick us all out. You know?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, so we ended up not going through with it, but anyways. All right, so Ricky leaves the band. So we end up, it's just me, Logan, and Brad now, because Kevin's left, Ricky's gone, and we're like, what do? We don't know what we're doing. You had thought about moving to fucking Tennessee or some shit, working at Guitar Center.
Yeah, because my aunt, before she got famous, was the manager of downtown Nashville's Guitar Center, which is like the size of a fucking Walmart. And I called her and I was like, I want to move to Nashville, the city of music and shit. And I was like, can you get me a job at Guitar Center? And she was like, you'll fucking hate it. She was like, but I can get you hired here. And I was like, all right, I'm going to fucking move then. And I even went and viewed apartments. I found an apartment I wanted, almost signed a lease to it before. I can't even remember what stopped me from moving down there. What was it? It was like, when we found Nick and we were like, we're going to keep going or whatever.
Yeah, because at the time I was even considering moving and transferring to a different Walmart, and I talked to Kristen, and Kristen was like all game for it too, because she was like, I get it. This is what you want to do. This is what you want to, you want to see this prosper and become something. So she was down to do it too. And so all three of us had talked about it, but then we ended up finding Nick. And we went to all go meet him up in Fayetteville. He was like a hairstylist or something. We met him at his place of business, and we hung out. I think we went to go eat with him. We ended up, adding him to the band, and that was the last time I ever saw or spoke to Nick, because I left the band shortly after this period. And I will tell the story from my point of view, and then you can tell the story from your point of view, because the way I see it may be completely different. I felt at the time that I had been pushed out, and you may not feel that way, but like I had felt like y'all had found, like we had found Nick. Nick knew this other guy, Chewy or whatever, and I don't know. I was working at Walmart. I know we were supposed to go record, but I couldn't. And I know we'd like set dates and stuff, something to come up with work. I had just become a member of management. I was trying to move up in this company while also trying to be in a band at the same time. And y'all were a little bit younger than me at the time too. And
Key factor is you had a child.
I also had a child. I'm a father and I have a child. But anyways, so I just remember one day, I think we were supposed to go record, and I couldn't make it because of business, because of work. And I think Logan or somebody messaged me. I don't even remember who it was, and was like, listen, like, if you can't do it, we've got a guy that will. So like, I felt like, whoa, that kind of sent me over, because I was like, well, they're already looking to replace me. They've already got somebody they've obviously been talking to. So I was like, I felt like I was being kind of pushed out of the band. So like it rubbed me the wrong way, and I was like, well, if that's how it's going to be, then I guess I'm just out. So I ended up leaving the band. From your point of view, do you feel like it was different? Because that's how I took it, and I was big mad, and me and Brad did not talk. Me, Brad, Logan, none of us, I did not talk to them for several years after this. And
now reality's gonna kick in.
Yeah, I want to hear what you have to say because because everyone sees something differently, and that's just how I saw it.
So, from our perspective, Nick joined the band, and as soon as Nick was in, we were like, okay, we have a drummer. We have a very talented drummer. Nick is insanely good at drums. Okay singer. And we're like, okay, we need to get a song done now. And as soon as Nick joined the band, I started writing a song. And as soon as the song was done, we contacted you, and we're like, okay, can you at least come to the house? We're gonna start putting down vocals for this. We've got it lined out, and you couldn't come to the house for one day to do that. And we're like, okay, well then we'll make sure all the music is completely tight and perfect. And we got all the music recorded down and the drums, and we're like, hey, okay, this weekend, can you come? Let's knock this out. And you're like, no, can't do it. And we're like, okay. And then we did a band practice for just what we already had, and you couldn't make it to that either. And we were like, well, what? I was like, all of us were like, is this guy ever coming back to do anything? Mm-hmm. And we're like, okay, whatever. And then we told you, we were like, okay, we've got all the lyrics ready, we've got the song ready. Here's the date. We're gonna go record with this guy because he only has a set amount of times, and he's got
in Fayetteville.
Yeah, and 5 other bands that are trying to get in. We're gonna record this song. It's this date. And then it was like the day before that date, you were like, oh, I'm not coming. And all of us took that as, there's been 4 times now where he's gave us an excuse, or at the time that's the way we look at it, gave us an excuse, isn't coming, which you at the time had a real job.
Yeah, I was assistant man. I had just become assistant. Just to clarify, I had just become an assistant manager, so I was being held to the fire by the store manager, and I was asking for these days that y'all wanted, but he was not giving them to me. And I was big mad about the situation as well. I wanted to be there. I just couldn't make it happen. And I was like, what do? I just got this job. I'm making $75,000 a year right now. I can't just fucking leave.
Me and Logan had jobs that paid the bills.
Yeah.
We didn't have careers. You had a career. We just had jobs that paid our bills, got shit done. And Nick had a job that made plenty of money, but he could work whenever the fuck he wanted. But you were in a different circumstance, and we also understood that. And then whenever the date came up, we had already paid, we had already scheduled this thing, and then you said you couldn't come, and we're like, so we've already paid this money, we're going to go record just instruments. And we tried, I remember we were like, dude, can you please come? We've already paid for this. And you're like, I can't come. And then that's when...
Don't come.
We had nothing planned. I mean, it wasn't like written in destiny or anything. We had not planned anything. And once we got to the day of, we were like, well, what the fuck are we gonna do? And that's when Nick was like, well, the screamer from my last band can come do this if y'all want me to text him. And that's when Logan was like, fucking text him, because we've already paid for this shit and we have to be there tomorrow. And Dawson's obviously doesn't give a fuck about this shit.
But I did.
And we were like, okay, we all agree, we're going to do it.
Yeah. So it was just different points of view. And at the time, once again, we're young. But yeah, I was very concerned about losing my job and things like that. And I couldn't make it work. And I was trying to make it work. And I'm pretty sure Logan's the one that messaged me. It was like, we've got a guy that's going to do this if you don't. And so to me, it just felt like I had a shitty day at work too. When he messaged me, I was leaving, and he messaged me that, and I was like, oh, they've already got a replacement lined out for me. So okay, obviously they don't want me in the band anymore. That's how I perceived it. And so I took it the wrong way, because I was like, man, these are my boys, and I felt like y'all turned your back on me. And at the time, that's how I felt. And so it really ate at me, and I went into a fucking deep depression state for a very long time, especially when y'all started putting out music, and I was like, fuck, that should be me.
And we never even met Shuey. We didn't meet Shuey till 3 weeks after Adelophobia had been recorded. We drove up there, recorded all the guitars, all the drums, and then we left, and he went and recorded vocals in a different studio like a week later, and then we didn't meet him till like 2 weeks after that.
Yeah.
We had never even met him.
Well, you know,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
When y'all recorded at Phobia, you
Yeah,
didn't even see him?
I had never met him, or
That's funny.
I had heard him because Nick was like, "Well, here's my last band's songs," and he was like, "If you think he's good enough to do it, then he can do it." I had heard him, but I had never met him.
Well, hell yeah. So, anyways, so that y'all went on with them fellas. Y'all put out some other tracks, an EP, all that jazz. I was in a room crying in a deep depression state. I hated myself in life.
My depression was coming shortly after.
And so then, I don't know, really, y'all weren't together too long, and then that shit fell apart. And I don't know if you want to touch on it or not. You can. We don't have to, but
We went on for about a year.
was it that long?
Yeah.
I thought it was like 6 months.
It was about a year. We put the EP out, and then we were getting booked shows every single weekend, and sometimes we played 2 shows a week. We were playing shows all the freaking time, and then that's when a manager from Fearless contacted us. And that's when me and Logan were like, you know, everything we fucking worked for, all the bullshit we've been through, like, it's paying off. Like, we're about to get on we have a big ass like record label in our genre of music contacting us. We're like, this is what we did. This is what we worked towards. And we put a shit ton of money to record a song in Joplin, Missouri with a producer called Jared Naff, who owns a very nice professional studio out there. We had to pay a lot of money. I think we paid like $1,200 for 1 day recording session. No, it was 2 days. I recorded the guitars and the bass in 1 day, and Nick recorded drums in that same day. And then the second day was Nick and Chewy doing their vocals to it. And this manager guy basically told us, was like, y'all pay for this song. If we like what we hear, we are going to pay for a music video to be done for it. And if it does well, we're going to go from there. And I'm not going to throw people under the bus or anything, but there were 2 members of the band that decided the day we were going to record this music video that a record label was fucking paying for, decided to go swimming with their girlfriends instead of showing up. Me, Logan, and Chewy showed up. We were the only ones there.
He said, without saying names, his name's everybody else.
I'll name the people that showed up. I won't name the people that weren't there.
Well, we know one of them.
Me, Logan, and Chewy showed up, and the other members did not show up. And the manager basically told us, well, y'all obviously aren't as professional as we thought you were, and basically blacklisted us in the like pretty much in the world of our genre. No one was going to work with us after that. And that's when the day that happened, we all went home. Chewy went back to his house in Fayetteville. Me and Logan both went to our house that we lived together at the time. And me and Logan sat in the garage and smoked and drank, and we were like, all right, this is it. And we texted the guys, and we were like, don't talk to us anymore. We're done. We've put too much money into this. We put 3 years of our time into it just for y'all to shit it away. We don't communicate with us anymore. We're done. And that's when I quit the band, and that's when I went into my spiral depression. You can ask my wife about it, because we were dating at the time, and my depression made me a shitty person and a terrible person to want to be around, and we broke up for a long time because of that. But hey, it worked out in the end. We're married now. But
you know, it's crazy is like music has such a way of like connecting with people and like taking people out of a depression state and saving lives. And like, you know, you hear about people all the time like, this music saved me, this band saved me, whatever it is. but like you look at it from an artist's point of view, like our point of view, and it can have the opposite effect, and it can really like destroy you.
your whole life, man.
It's crazy.
Because it becomes your identity.
It does.
And when it's taken away from you, you feel like you don't know who you are anymore.
Yeah, you got to find yourself again.
Yeah, and that's
pretty crazy.
That's how I felt. That's obviously how you felt after that. And I'm sure when Ricky left, he probably felt like in some way that it was like that for him as well.
Because I stopped playing for like a few years. Like just completely stopped playing guitar. Stopped singing.
You just don't feel like happy doing it.
Yeah.
Like you got to refine that.
It's like I lost the direction, you know?
Yeah. No,
Like whenever, even originally when we were all a band together, like everyone that came to our parties on the weekends, and
we
like,
had mad parties, by the way.
Yeah, we did. No, like everybody that was friends with us at the time, they didn't look at us as individuals. They looked at us as one entity.
Yeah.
And like because all of us made one thing, and that was who we were. And then when that is no longer the case, it kind of just leaves you feeling isolated and alone, and it fucking sucks.
Yeah. All right, so let's move into the future and like what we're doing now. So 9 years ago now, because it's been a year since we started writing music again. 9 years ago,
That's crazy.
We started the Fallthrough, which is the channel that you're on now, the music that you've been listening to if you're following us. And we started a song. The first song we put out was Seppuku. So I want to touch on like how the Fallthrough came about, how the music came about, because from my understanding, Seppuku was like a one and done thing. Like we weren't going to do anything else besides that, and then here we are.
Yeah, basically.
So, Brad, you kind of got the ball rolling on that. I had reached out to you multiple times throughout the years, like, hey, let's do music again. I want to do music again. Let's get back together. Let's do something. And you were like, no. And then finally, one day I get a text message from you.
Okay, so I mean that spills from whenever Strangers broke up and it was the end. I can't express enough. I mean, we weren't a famous band, we weren't a big band, we didn't do nationwide tours or anything. But in my mind, I mean, Strangers was everything to me. And
I mean, we were on the verge
when we broke up. I didn't even listen to metal music anymore. Like it affected me that hard. I did not. When I would drive to work or whatever, I started listening to country music, to freaking like I would go back to my old faithfuls like Blink-182 and 2000s rock, because I did not want to listen to metal. If I heard August Burns Red or Of Mice and Men, all it made me it just brought back memories of us doing our thing, and I was like, I don't want to listen to this shit
Bro,
anymore.
I did the same thing.
And it took years for me to finally let that go. And in that time, like me and Dawson were friends again and shit. And he had asked me to do stuff, and I was just like, I don't want to do anything. But it took years for me to be like, okay, well.
How did we end up talking back to get like? How did we end up like talking again?
I mean, there was like 4 or 5 years. No, it was much longer than that.
I think it was longer than that, because
it was like what, a year and a half or so before me and Dakota got married. I'm pretty sure you texted me or something in the middle of the night one night and was just like, I want to apologize. You were like, I overreacted when shit went down and stuff, and then I answered you too, and I was like, no, I fucked up too. I was like, we're still friends. Don't fucking worry about it.
And you invited me to your wedding.
Yeah.
And then, so how long y'all been married now? Putting you on the spot.
20. We get married in 2020.
Got him.
Either 2020 or 2021.
Shit.
So
You're in trouble
4
now.
years. 4 years.
that's crazy. 4 years.
Babe!
Did that? I just put you on the spot.
Hey!
You're in so much trouble now. But so.
Hey!
I know you ain't talking about me like that.
How long have we been married?
I put him on the spot. And
She
he don't know how to
don't even
answer.
know.
4 years.
Okay, I got it right.
Okay, cool.
It's 2020.
2020.
That's exactly what I said. Thank you.
So I came to your wedding, and that's when we like finally hung out again for the first time. Was at your wedding? But continue.
That wedding was lit. But so Steven, that is the member of our band that lives in California.
Which, by the way, there will be clips throughout this of
you'll see
Steven giving.
Steven's glorious face.
Yeah.
But I met Steven while I was still in Strangers to September. I met him on Instagram. It just like he popped up in my algorithm, like posting videos of his production stuff, and he's the one who produced Strangers to September's second EP and our main single that like did really well. And we've stayed in communication like pretty much since then. So that's crazy. I've pretty much known Steven virtually for like 10 years. Well, he texted me one day and he was just like, "Hey man, I really want to do a music project. I've always really liked your songwriting and was just curious if you'd be down to do something." And I was like, well, shit. I haven't done anything in years, but something in the back of my mind, I was like, I would really like to do a song. And then he came with like, you know, he had a buddy that committed suicide, and he's like, I want to touch on the bass. I know your dad did the same because my dad passed away from suicide. And he's like, I think we can both really put our heads together and come up with something pretty good for this. And we started writing it instrumentally. And he texted me and he was like, you know, I can do vocals and stuff. He's like, but I would much prefer to have a actual vocalist. He's like, do you know anybody that... he was like, those guys and Strangers, would you want to contact them? And I was like, well, the last people, Strangers, I'm absolutely fucking not going to contact. I was like, but I do know one guy. I was like, give me one day, I'll text him, we'll go from there. And then that's when I texted you, and I was like, hey, I'm pretty sure I sent you like a small clip of it, and I was like, this is what we're doing. What do you think? And you like called me instantly, and you're like, let's fucking do this. Let's fucking go.
Dude, I was so hyped. When you texted me, you can ask Kristen, like, when you texted me and was like, yo, I want to do this, like, instantly I felt like life was, like, breathed back into me. And you can ask Kristen, like, when we started writing music again, she was telling people at work, she was like, dude, Dawson is, like, different now. And they're like, what do you mean? She was like, I don't know. Like, she's like, there's just something about him, like, his aura, everything. Like, I can just tell, like, he's acting different. And she's like, and I think it is all stemming from him and Brad getting back together and writing music again because he really loves music. And that's exactly what it was. And I remember you messaging me and I was just so hype on that. And I was like, fuck yes, like we're going to get to do this again. And I remember you being like, it's probably just this one song.
Yeah.
And so I was like, instantly, like, I went from a high to like,
Well, mainly I said that just because. Yeah. I said that just because, you know, I'm to the point where I love doing music and stuff, but I'm not paying people. I'm not going to go out of my way, because nowadays, if I were to record DIs and send it to a producer, they're going to charge me $600 for a song. And I'm not doing that. But so Steven was like, hey, I'm going to produce this. I'm going to do it. He's like, let's just get this done. And I didn't want to tell you we were going to keep doing it. And, like, me overstep my bounds, you know, stick my leg over the line and be like, oh, yeah, Steven's going to keep wanting to do this stuff. It was basically in Steven's ballpark. I wasn't going to try and take what he does for granted. And
for sure.
Like, to be like, yeah, we're going to keep doing songs, and Steven's going to take 10 to 12 hours of his time every time to basically mix and master our stuff. So I was just like, we'll do this one song. If Steven wants to keep doing it, we'll go from there. But then Seppuku turned out so fucking sweet, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It came out so good. I remember whenever he sent us the final master, I was like, damn.
Dude, I cried.
Yeah, when I heard that, I'm not gonna lie. Y'all showed, or I think you posted it or something, because I don't think we talked that much. We recorded that one song, maybe a couple songs. Me and you.
No, yeah,
like
we did
years ago.
Years before that.
Breathe and Mirror's Edge.
Like
that shit was fire.
Something Road or something.
Dude, if it would have been
Flatwood Road, that's when he still lived at the house.
Yeah, if it would have been like legit produced, it would have those would have hit, dude.
Yeah, I remember those two. I actually showed somebody those songs not long ago.
I've got videos on my Facebook of you doing your recording those songs.
For real?
Dude, they're so good.
But yeah, dude, when we got the final mix of Seppuku, I remember me and my wife, we were listening to it together upstairs, and I just started crying like out of nowhere. Like, and I know that sounds like real like stupid,
Yeah,
but
you're a
like,
pussy.
yeah, I know. But like, dude, like it was like it all hit me at once because we hadn't been doing music, and like we got back together after all this time. We wrote this song. It's an emotional song. The lyrics are emotional. The topic, like it's something that's important to you, something important to Steven. It was important to me because it was important to y'all, and like it just all of that combined really like just like hit me right here. And like I remember just like kind of like I wasn't like full on crying, but like dude, I had tears, man. I was like, man, this is something. And yeah,
Long time coming.
yeah, it was a long time coming. But yeah, then Steven was like, all right, what's next?
Yeah,
And
no, basically,
so-
because I made him get Discord so we could easily talk to each other, and he posted that master in there, and then you made the video to it, and he was like, all right, y'all got anything tracked down for the next one? And I was like, next one? I was like, fuck.
yeah.
And then that's when fucking, what did we do next? We did To the Wind next.
To the Wind was next.
Which is a song that I had recorded like literally 8 years ago. I had recorded it for strangers and it never got used. And Steven wanted something now. And I was like, well, fuck, I still have the files to this. I'm sending you. I was like, let y'all do y'all's thing. And it fucking, we did Close to Home next, which was just a remake of what we did. And then what?
Yeah, we
Heaven
did
and
Hiding.
And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
when we hit your
And that's
ass
when we
up.
hit up Ricky to come back and do his thing.
We need actual singers.
We need somebody.
And bro, like honestly, Heaven and Hiding is my personal favorite song that we've done in the Fallthrough, up to of course V3 coming out again, because that's just nostalgic as hell to me.
Yeah.
But like I love that song.
I like Heaven and Hiding a lot because it actually spoke to a lot of stuff that I kind of went through right before that.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of, I don't know, it's cool. Like, you know, you get religious, I guess. I grew up, you know.
Yeah,
I'm
we
a
were
Christian
both raised in
yeah,
very, very Christian
households
households.
and stuff. And then
Yeah.
life happens, you know, and you go through stuff. And at that time, when you hit me up, I was like going through some like deep stuff that I won't get into right now. But yeah, it was crazy, man, and that just kind of helped me. I never told anybody that, so it just helped me out a lot to kind of come out of that depression and stuff that I was in.
I feel like it's
cool,
like it's different for guys like me and you that from like birth we were raised and having the Bible drilled into our head. We have the biblical knowledge, you know, and I find that the more biblical knowledge you have, the more it's like a what's the word I'm looking for? It's like an anchor that kind of drags you down, because the more you know, that kind of the cracks and the faults you find in it, you look too deep in it, and you kind of live your life and see everything that happens, and you start, because of how much you know, but then you compare like what happened to other people in the Bible to what happens to your own life. You start questioning everything, more so compared to people who weren't raised the way that we were.
Right.
That song kind of touches on that.
Yeah, that's what that. Yeah, that's kind of what I was going through. Just like, what in the world? Like, where I'm missing something. Like, something's not clicking right. And there's a lot of holes that I'm trying to figure out and stuff. But that, I think, writing, just getting back to doing what I felt like was my calling. You know.
Yeah.
It kind of brought me out of that and was like, hey, you know,
Yeah.
this is what you're supposed to be doing.
No, that's
Let's
cool,
do
man.
a fucking song, man.
That's cool. I'm in a band.
I'm in a band.
But no, dude. Yeah. No, I love that song. Lyrically, I just think it's a good song. But yeah, then we wrote.
It's heavy.
Yeah, it is. And then we wrote the next song, which is only got a little bit of vocals in it, but it's one of your favorite songs we've written.
Yeah, my absolute favorite song.
So
The Hatchet.
The
dude.
Hatchet. It kind of just gets the point across, I think, real like short and sweet. It's like,
Well, I'd always wanted, if anybody that sees this happens to be an ABR fan, they have a song called The Meridian, which is so like it's 80% instruments and then like has this heavy hitting, just like the vocalist only does vocals for like 20 seconds, but the words he puts down are so like hard hitting and make you think. Yeah, impactful, that it makes up for all the time that they're not doing vocals. And I've always wanted to do a song like that. And I also had two people in my life that I consider to be like two of my closest best friends, like that I would consider family, that aren't so much anymore. And I wanted to write lyrics about it. And I just wanted to be short and to the point, and then just have instruments fill in the rest of the emotion, the rest of the song. And the hatchet just turned out to be perfect. Bringing Curtis onto this song, I absolutely had to do. Because I got to a point where I was like, man, I've kind of wrote myself into a corner. I don't know what to put here. So I messaged Curtis, and I was like, dude, you can shred. Fill this spot that I don't know how to fill. And he did so freaking good. And made the ending of the song instrumentally almost like Hotel California, where there's like 5 different guitar leads playing at the same time, but they all are like almost playing the same thing, even though they're different. And then, of course, your fucking vocals on it, the lyrics I wrote, and you just fucking put your voice down on them, and it hits so freaking hard. Yeah. And right now, I don't know if you saw my Instagram story.
I saw you. I think you told me.
The Hatchet is our #1 played song on Spotify.
Hell yeah.
So I'm stoked about that.
It was Heaven in Hiding, and then it swapped.
Yeah, it did swap, dude.
It did swap recently. But yeah, so now here we are. The Fallthrough has been a thing for a year now. Once again, 10 years since Strangers. We're putting out V3, which is the 3rd iteration of Welcome to It. Once again, the first song that we'd ever written is Strangers to September.
The best version of it.
It is the best version of it.
I agree. I feel like this culminates like all...
I feel like
it takes portions of each version, in my opinion.
The only reason we redid it after both of y'all left is because we knew that when we played shows, we had to have an additional song, and we're like, why write a fucking new one when we already have one? Yeah. But that version was fucking terrible, dude. It was so fucking bad. I hated it. I didn't want to do it, but Logan wanted to redo it, and Logan wanted Nick to sing, which I didn't. But I wanted to be a band that didn't sing. I just wanted screaming, but the rest of the band wanted something different. But the second version was so bad, dude. Oh, I hated it.
I kind of liked it.
You came to that show we played in Fort Smith.
I sang it for y'all, whatever, in Fort Smith.
I was like, fucking Ricky's here. I was like, Shuey, fucking call him on stage. Have him sing it, not him.
That's funny. It's funny, and Steven will talk about this in the clips that we put in here, but another reason why we ended up doing Welcome to It a third time is one, we had all got back together, done Heaven in Hiding, and we all thought it would be super cool to do it again, but Steven really wanted to do it again because he wanted to work with me and you. And he'll talk about that, and I'll let him discuss that part himself. But yeah, I think it came out amazing. I think it's probably the best version of it, and I didn't want to call it Welcome to It again.
Yeah.
So I reached out to Brad. I was like, how do you feel about, like, let's just call it V3. The people that know will know, and the people that don't know and they're just finding us, like, it's just
what does that mean?
It's just a new track. It's just a new cool track or whatever,
what does it mean?
So that's kind of the reason why we changed it to just V3. But yeah, so recording looks completely different now than what it used to do back in the day. We all kind of record separately. We message back and forth through Discord, sending everything back and forth. Yeah, it's a lot different now.
Because technology has gotten a lot different just in the past 2 years.
And all of us are fucking dads.
Yeah, we're dads.
Kids in there right now.
Here's 3 men that are not qualified to be dads, and here we are.
Here we are, dads. Here we are.
But we're not deadbeat dads.
No,
that's something that we can all be proud of, right?
Yeah.
Let the cancel culture know we love our fucking kids.
We do.
We take care of them.
But shit.
The writing process now. With this project, it's been great. It's been fun. Or a lot of times things in music, sometimes they go a direction of where it seems like work, or it's a chore. But we've kind of just done these at our own leisure. We all have jobs and families, and so it's not like we can be on it day after day. Sometimes we got to wait weeks until one person can jump to do their part, or life. We'll have lives. But the writing process has been fun. I'd say it's been really structured in a way that works from a songwriting standpoint. It'll typically start off with an idea, and a lot of times it'll be a guitar idea. Brad will send me a guitar riff, and it'll be like, oh, this is cool. I hear something on top of this riff, and I'll record something on top of it that sounds awesome, and then we'll start figuring out drum patterns and things in the background to make it sound big and pop. A lot of times Brad may write a part that's a really cool verse, just a really cool riff, and then I'll write a really cool hook after it, like a chorus. And sometimes they'll be in sections. He'll do a section, I'll do a section, or it'll be he'll do a part and I'll add to that part, and it'll be that way throughout the song. It's just been fun. That's one of the best ways I can put it. And then when it comes to the vocals, as far as poetry, those guys are good. Dawson, they write some good stuff. Me doing vocals, I'd say sometimes the poetry side of it gets hard for me. When I write something musically, it's something that I feel. It's a feeling that I have. That I'll write, but it's not something that can necessarily be explained in words. And those guys, Ricky and Dawson, they do a great job at creating the story, making it what it is to explain a story behind the emotion, the feel. So yeah, it's been great. Like I said, I've never met any of these guys in person yet. I'm going to. We're gonna get together, and we're all gonna hang out. And it's gonna be an awesome day, week, I'm sure. But it's just been write a part, send it. Hey, what do you think of this? They like it. They hate it. Oh, let me add to this. It gets sent back, and then maybe a month, maybe 2 months, 3 months, who knows? We have a song, and it's an awesome song. And I really like that. You're not held to the gun, to get something done. I'm not. This isn't a job for me. It's a passion project. It's fun. So I think all of us contribute equally, and it's just a fun project, and the process makes sense, and it's great. Making new songs as the Fallthrough, it's been great. I think that every song that we make, there's a piece of each one of us in each one of those songs. There's no spotlight, so to speak. We invest equally in what we do. And every time we put something new out, we're all extremely proud of it. There may be one song that relates more to one member in the band versus another. I know that I have a song that I really relate to, just like some of the other band members may have a song that they really relate to. But every single one of those songs, a piece of each one of us goes into, and it's been a lot of fun. I really love the sound, you know. It's and the style of music, you know. Brad brings in this style that I really like, and I love to feed off of it when I'm creating. It's really easy for me to write with him. It's almost like it was meant to be, and I can't really put a label on it. You know, it's definitely metal music, but there's metalcore. There's hints of like early 2000s, 2010s, but there's bits and pieces of kind of everything, you know, and it's fun. It's a fun project. I'm really proud to be part of it. I think the end result of what this album is going to be something really good. It's going to be something really good. And I think you guys are really going to like what we bring to you in the future. Thanks, guys.
Is there anything else like that we haven't touched on that y'all wanted to touch on?
Dude, I think we touched on just about everything.
Yeah, I think so too. Dude, we had some good times back in the day,
Man.
and it's been fun sitting here reminiscing, talking about all those times. It's brought back a lot of memories, and I think this was like a really fun, cool idea.
There was a lot of memories that I had lost completely.
Yeah, and this kind of brings it all back,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We can
brought it
talk
back.
about how fucking good we used to be at beer pong.
Yes.
Beer pong was the
my
thing.
God.
Dude, beer pong was the thing at the
Yeah,
house.
well, we played
would
it
get in fist fights
literally
over that
every
shit.
day. Like we literally played beer pong every day.
It was a
Pretty
problem.
much. Yeah,
It was a problem.
but you know, we got good.
And people would come to our parties and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I call Island Batman and Robin fire. If I make it in this cup, that means I win." And we were like, "If you make it in a cup, you get that cup. If you don't make it in the cup, you don't get anything. That's the only fucking rules here in
just
this
the way
house,
it goes."
motherfucker."
House rules.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, I think that brings us to the end of this. But yeah, for those of you who are watching, you know, we didn't make this for, you know, we think that we're some hot ass band or was a hot ass band. This is for us. Like when I told Brad this idea, you know, I just wanted something. We've got videos and clips that are going to be throughout this entire video, and they're kind of all over the place. We've lost videos, we've lost clips and photos throughout the years.
That's my fault.
And you know, we kind of wanted a spot that
It's my fault.
it was all in one location, and then I thought it'd be cool for us to talk about that stuff and then have it all in this one spot. That way we could go back and look on it throughout the years, and if you see anybody want to watch it, then you know, here it is.
right ahead.
But yeah, well, hell, boys, I just want you to know that this is going to be corny, but I love y'all, and
Love
you
too,
know,
bro.
I so glad that we are writing music again. No, for real, I love you, dude. Yeah, and if y'all are watching this, you'll be seeing V3 very shortly. We hope that you enjoy it. It'll be on all streaming platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, all that jazz.
Yeah, check it
Also, before Dawson will forget, I know you'll fucking forget to
I
say
might.
anything about it. But after V3,
shit, yeah.
we are putting V3 out. That will be the last single that we put out. We currently are.
We're breaking up.
Yeah, we're done. GG.
GG's.
No, for real.
GG's
We decided to put down pretty much an EP. It may turn into a full album. We just want to sit down and write a shit ton of songs. Right now, I've got like 3 songs I'm writing on. One that my buddy Curtis, once again, is helping me with. Steven's got like 2 songs that he has ready to go. Like me, Dawson, Ricky, Steven, Curtis, we're all trying to put shit together. We're gonna put it out, and it's gonna. I'm gonna confidently say it's gonna be 10 times better than anything we've put out in the past. Anything we've put out recently. We're gonna put a shit ton of work into this, and hopefully, everyone likes it as much as we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I was going to forget to mention that. But
I didn't
yes,
forget. I was working on it today.
But yes, V3. That's this video, then V3, and then that'll be it for a little while. We'll probably post videos of us like recording the process and doing stuff throughout it. But don't expect any new music after V3 for a little bit as we go down this journey of trying to get this EP/album completed.
I imagine we'll probably have everything done. We may put out one song from it.
Yeah, we can release like one single. Or
yeah, put a single out or something,
or a little teaser.
We may put out like when we realize we're halfway done with it, we may put out one of the songs we're done with, and then in that space finish everything else.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, once again, boys, it's been fun sitting down, reminiscing, talking, and yeah, once again. V3 coming soon, probably within the next few days or weeks of you watching this video. So we hope you enjoy it. And once again, it's on all the streaming platforms. So go check it out, show it some love, and we will catch you again soon.
Come on. Fuck!